So well, 11111. Can you hear me? All right. So apparently I had some issue, but thank God I fixed it, I believe. Yeah. All right. Hello, Kevin. Hello, hello. If you could confirm that you can hear me, I would love to see that. Nonetheless, let's start the session. Let's get it. So I'll mark the 7 a.m. start, and what I want to mention in the some sort of like pre what I want to say. Okay, pre-session, pre-market. Sorry, some technical issues. But yeah, 8:30 we have PPI, so that's something noteworthy for today. And because the 8:30 has the major high impact news event for today, I'm not really too chubby about trading ahead of that news report. I would rather prefer to wait and see how price looks like after the PPI hits, but nonetheless I will do my best to navigate the price action before the PPI numbers, and maybe even get some better idea about what price may want to do. So far at the beginning of the session, we can see that price took out relatively equal lows in here. So I'm watching this small little inefficiency right there, or I could also, yeah, it's overlapping with this fair value gap here, but nonetheless I'm watching also the buy side here on this short-term basis. And yeah, the session just begun. Nothing is in the oven as it is now. We do see some measure of sell-side liquidity here that I like. There is an inefficiency here that I also like, so I will annotate that. So on the downside, that's a sweet little potential draw on liquidity. This BC, I like it. And then we had the sell side on 15-minute relatively cool lows. On the upside, at the other hand, we do have very nice and smooth highs from the London lunch hour. Very clean, very suspect, very suspect. So I'm keeping that in mind, and also those relative equal highs here too. So at this moment I'm just like willing to spend some time with the price, watching and observing which which side it might want to gravitate to more. But yeah, the main move, or the big move, could be or should be generally reserved for the US core PPI high impact news at 8:30. So that's when the liquidity will be attacked, but we'll see which one. All right, I hope you guys have a nice day so far. I don't know where are you watching this, but where I live, we have about mid of the day. So far the weather was nice and getting warmer. That's great. And yeah, so I also noted this inversion fair value gap here on this side. It went below it, it acted perfectly as inversion, as resistance, and then attacked the low here and tried to make an attempt to reach towards those relative equal lows, but yeah, couldn't quite get it there. So there might be some shenanigans today or before the PPI, because PPI is very similar to like CPI, and I don't like, or I don't really recommend trading ahead of that news. So preaching the right protocols and marrying to the rules and the proper ideas, it's better to let some ideas go ahead of PPI, especially if it's not like very obvious or one-sided. And so far today it isn't really. It could go for the lows, it could go for the highs, so it's not as probable. Hello, Anastalini from Morocco. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the party. Today we are partying at 8:30 PPI. Ay. Wow, we'll see. So it happened that we swept politely this short-term minor buy side here, and price couldn't even reach or get into this inversion fair value gap here so far. So that could be a potential sign of weakness, but yet I don't want to go too much ahead of the curve. If that's the case, if that would be the case, we do have a CB right here on the 15-second chart, right? So I want to watch and study this one. Just study. I'm not looking for a trade ahead of PPI right now. I don't see anything that I would like to trade on. That's why I'm preferring to watch and see how price delivers. Alright, so price traded up into this small little CB, colored a little bit outside of the lines, but now we are selling off a little bit more, and I like to see that. That's constructive for potentially aiming for this low here, which, yeah, if this one is taken out, then I assume the sell side 25,606.50 could be a potential draw. But until then, let's see. We do have a smaller little fair value gap here on the 15-second. So let's see if this can promote any bearishness. But as you can see, the first candle that trades into it closes above it. So that pretty much cancels out the idea of it reaching lower near term in my mind. And I'm thinking that this inversion fair value gap on 1 minute might be revisited. So let's go to the 1 minute again, and let's see if we can make an attempt to reach up into this PD array right now. So overlapping with this inversion fair value gap, there is this volume imbalance, volume imbalance, volume imbalance, volume imbalance. So this is like a suspension block on steroids in here, also as a premium. So we did touched into the bearish inversion fair value gap here on the 1 minute, and we've taken buy side here one more time. So let's see how price does. I'll take those off for now. And what I would like to add is this suspension block right here. So this is a bullish suspension block, but I'll watch if we can inverse that potentially or possibly. So yeah, generally because this area in here was like smooth and it was made jagged here and rejected, I would like to see price run higher for an area of smoothness, which is for example here above those highs. But to get like more confidence about that idea, I would like to see price reach up above this 1 minute inversion fair value gap, and then start potentially sending it higher. That would be like one scenario that could unfold, or how price could unfold the delivery today. But let's see, so far since 7 a.m. Price is mostly overlapping, and yeah, digging into this inversion fair value gap, trading to the high. So there is also this possibility that we might seek some higher prices ahead of PPI, and that would be a very convenient way of building up some premium ahead of the news to then, you know, press the price lower afterwards or after the PPI. But unless we did trade it above this inversion fair value gap here, but came all the way down and closed at the low. So this is not reclaimed as it is right now. It's not, but it might be still. So we're watching. Welcome, it's code. It's code. I love you too. It's a great day to watch price action. A day without watching the tape, reading the tape, is a day lost. You know? If you are a trader, obviously. Of course. Right, some issues to get above this again, and the bodies are staying in the lower half. So that's not the hallmark for bullishness, but I'm still giving it some time, some room to potentially climb above it. There is a, let me zoom in a little bit, there is a suspension block right here, and that's where price traded into here. And now it could, if it's bullish, if it's potentially running towards this buy side liquidity here, which is relative equal highs, with the high on the right being lower than the high on the left. So that's an area that I'm watching potentially, but more so I just want to get a feel for the price action, how it's delivering, what it wants to do. So a small little close above the consecutive encroachment of this inversion fair value gap. So that's right away is kind of like not ideal in terms of like premium sensitivity, but still waiting and willing to submit to what we are going to see. But generally the logic right now is that we had relative equal lows here that were taken out, price rejected that and started climbing higher. So think about this in some measure of like a market maker buy model type of idea, where we did close above this inversion fair value gap here. Great. So now we want to really defend the upper half of this inversion, and that would be constructive for a potential run on the buy side here. So that's what I'm watching right now. I don't know if it will pan out. I don't know if it will work out. Don't hold too much precedence over that, but that's something I'm watching. That's something I'm observing. Whatever happens will give me some idea, some clues that I can possibly then use eventually today, or maybe tomorrow. Maybe I will not trade today. Who knows, right? Who knows? Maybe I know, maybe I don't. But to be completely honest, I'm not very interested in trading ahead of PPI, because truth to be told, I'm expecting that they will just like hold the price in some consolidation ahead of it. But yeah, we'll see. Nonetheless, this candle here opened and closed in the lower portion of the reclaimed bullish fair value gap at that time. The next candle opened up below it, but traded all the way up and closed above that reclaimed fair value gap. So now it did like the coloring outside of the lines here. It did the mojo. So now it should like see some measure of expansion towards the buy side here, or at least it should really like strictly respect the upper half, because yeah, the damage kind of was like done here I would assume. So not the highest precision, but good enough. And if it's good, let's see if we can jump towards the relative equalize here. That would be the most logical at the moment. There is this volume imbalance here along the way, but personally I think that if it's going to go to this volume imbalance, it will most likely clear out the buy side here. I mean, that makes the most sense, right? So let's see. I like the speed. I like the speed here. I like the speed, and I like to keep it up and clear out those highs here. All right. So let's see what we'll get, but nonetheless, this is the price should be in a rush to deliver here. Price should be in a rush. So I can annotate the volume imbalance here just for the banter, and I like how it trades already above it. Close above it is great. Close inside of it like this, a little bit suspect, but yet I would still look for it to clear out the buy side right here. So it could act as some short-term support to send it higher. That's how I would like to see. No deep retracements, nothing like that should be in the cards right now. All right, so let's see. Let's zoom out a little bit to see a bigger picture. And yeah, we delivered back inside of this range, but we did stop at this volume imbalance so far. So yeah, let's see if we can still bulk up some strength to get above it. Generally, if a market maker buy model would be able to, or would be meant to fail, this is about the area where it would be failing. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm still sticking to the idea that it might deliver, and that's what I'm watching. That's what I'm watching. Na na na, na na na, pa pa pa. All right, but the difficulty that it's having at this volume imbalance here is worth mentioning. It really has a hard time here to get through this, which is problematic for the buy side here, right? Because we would rather see a straight shot for the buy side, and that's it. But here it's actually struggling, so we'll see. We'll see if it maybe will turn around. This inefficiency here, personally, I don't like to see this closed. So let's annotate it as yellow. This run like this should smash through the buy side, and this is it. That's what it should do. I like the gap up on this candle, and we got the buy side, and that's a market maker buy model complete within this clearing out the original consolidation buy side liquidity. a lot of mumbo jumbo, but that's kind of the brass tacks what it was. And yeah, great. So yeah, framing it for around this suspension block or this inversion fair value gap, it offered around, I don't know, 15 to 20 almost. So very small range, very small range. Yeah, like around 15 handles. So yeah, pretty tight range, but yeah, expected ahead of the PPI, because after or at the PPI, that's when I would assume a range expansion is likely to unfold. So we'll see. We still have about an hour to go, but let's see. Let's watch whether we can manage to offer any run higher still. So on the upside, above those highs, we have this SIBI right there, and that would be like an upside objective or another upside objective above the buy side here, and that's what we are getting right now, touching to the low. That's great. And let's see how we will trade into this, because taking into consideration that this was a market maker buy model here, right, with that consolidation right there. All right, if that's the case, then if you look further to the left, this is the same fractal but in just a larger form. So this is a larger market maker buy model here, and even though this smaller one delivered, this larger one might fail or could fail. And when would that be? That's the CB most likely. If it's going to fail, it's most likely going to fail at the CB, which means that if it offers like a stiff resistance or shows the unwillingness for the price to even trade into it, then it could be faltering lower and attacking the sell side here into this busy here from 302 from London open session. All right, so let's see what we got so far. I gotta admit that's an interesting price action to study, not gonna lie. That's a very interesting price action to build some ideas on. So not too bad, not too chubby, even ahead of PPI, not too bad. Yeah, pretty okay. So let's see, potential another attempt to reach up into the CB here. So I'm watching that closely. What will we get out of it? Yeah, for future reference, I want to take a look and make an annotation of this low here on the body and this low here on the body. So these two, ignore the wicks, are very smooth and very relative equal, aren't they? I like them, not gonna lie. I like them, so I I will annotate those, or this area are as too clean. Too clean. And if you look at the weeks, it looks jagged. It doesn't look clean at the weeks, but the bodies tell you the story. The bodies are telling you it's clean. So that's what I like. Do I use SMT? My friend Soul Shift. Sometimes I do, but it's not like a steady diet for me usually. But yeah, I do look for it in some cases, and it's helpful. It can be helpful. So let's see. We are trading into the SIBI here, trying to get a deeper run into it. So generally, if it's like good for the buy set here, it should have no problem to you know, smash through it and basically just inverse it and then use it as support to run the buy side, right? That would be the go-to idea. I will add the two clean bodies, so no one new turning on the stream will not like wonder like, what is he talking about? There are weeks. These weeks are so jagged. Yeah, but the bodies are clean. How about that? Okay, so let me add the consecutive encroachment here, the midline of this SIBI, and we can see that the weeks even so far are failing to even reach the 50%. That's by definition not a sign of strength, rather a sign of weakness. All right, that's more of a sign of weakness. I'm not saying that it's going to sell off from here right away, but it could, right? It could. So let's see. Let's see. So far, price is really having hard time to get through the SIBI, and because of that, only because of that, and because of the fact that we have PPI later, and I don't think they are gonna run this liquidity right now, I suspect that we might traverse lower and clear out the sell side here on those clean bodies. Okay, that's something that I'm watching. I don't know if that will deliver for sure, okay, but with this information given, that's what I'm suspecting. Okay, I'm wrong, or I'm most likely wrong, if we trade on a closing basis above this SIBI. Okay, does it make sense? I hope it does, because it doesn't get any simpler. Yeah, so we've taken buy set here, relative equal highs. We traded to a premium array in form of a SIBI, and we respected the lower half. We couldn't even post a body inside of it, so that's weak. That's weakness. There is a suspension block here that's formed, a premium array. So let's watch this for potential premium sensitivity and send it lower, right? Let's see if it can. But generally, as long as price stays away from the upper half of this SIBI, from 525, we are good to go to potentially clear out those smooth, clean bodies here. At least that's my view. And yeah, like less than an hour ahead of PPI. So that kind of like a danger, quote unquote, of trading ahead of high impact news like this is that the price can or tend to go on hold, to enter some measure of time distortion and do nothing ahead of it, ahead of that news. Not always, but many times that's the case, and that's also something I want to weather out. So let's see. So far trading up into this suspension block on the 1 minute, and if it's bearish, it should be respecting the lower half here. If it's heavy, then that's the signature that I'm looking for. And that would be some kind of idea of an low risk sell type of trade. I'm not saying that this is it, but that would be an early or aggressive sign of that if I'm correct on my assumption, which again I might be wrong. We are ahead of PPI. They can be manipulating here by hand. But unless we traded up to the high of that 1 minute suspension block, but nobody's placed in the upper half so far, so that's reasonably constructive for lower. Let's see if it can stay like this. All right, I like the close on this candle here, and I would like to leave this area quickly. I would like to see that. All right, so if it's bearish here, I would like to see it like really start losing ground and covering some ground lower. This short-term low preferably taken with displacement. That would be something welcome to see. Good afternoon, Candy. Welcome. I hope you're doing great and feeling well today. We are trying to navigate some pre-PPI price action. Nice to see you, by the way. And yeah, we touched the low of the suspension block here, and that's, in my opinion, yeah, it could start running. It should start running lower if it's correct and target those bodies here. If it's actually valid, but yeah, again, as long as price stays away from the CB here and offers premium sensitivity to the premium arrays that are currently being traded into, I'm looking here. All right, if it goes above the 50% of the CB, I'm wrong, probably most likely wrong about the idea. and then the probabilities shift, and it's more likely that we will actually get the buy set here. But yeah, if I gotta die on a hill, I'm choosing this one. So let's see another trade into this suspension block here on 1 minute. All right, trading into the upper half, closing in the upper half. So it looks like it wants to revisit this higher CB. All right, gotta allow for that. Gotta make an allowance. But yeah, making a higher high and a rejection wouldn't be a bad sign, to be honest. Wouldn't be too bad, but yeah, at this moment it's kind of like a make or break. It either is going to trade above it and the buy side here is likely, or it's going to be acting as a resistance, and then rotation lower is more likely. Okay, so this suspension block, we closed above it, so it would need to act as this counter right here, right, to send it higher. Let's give it a try. Let's give it the chance to prove itself. Let's do it. If it's bullish, if it wants to trade higher, it should find support here and have no problem to trade through the SEBI. Okay, that's the idea. If it is, I don't know if it is that bullish, I don't know, but if it is, then that's the protocol basically. At the same time, we engineered relative equal highs right here. So that's something also that I'm making a mental note of. The relative equal highs are basically at the consecutive encroachment of this CB. So I'm not going to make another line, but keep that in mind that it could have been, or it always can be swept, right? And now the idea is, because we have relative equal highs here, if it wants to go higher, it has to accelerate above those. It just has to. It can't take those and be like slow and sloppy, because that's bearish then. Okay, and so far we still being resisted of that busy, and no bodies are being like placed inside of it, and that's suspect, right? That's suspect. That's not that strong, but let's see. Price consolidates, so classic ahead of PPI. Traded to the low of the suspension block. Closed, I believe, slightly below 50%, so that's already not ideal for higher. So I'm watching if we can actually trade below it and then use it again as a premium. but now we left those relative equal highs here, which might be like leaving a bait in here for the sake of engineering buy side liquidity for future, so maybe for after PPI, and that would make sense to take the price lower ahead of PPI and then have like this super clean and smooth buy side to run out afterwards, but I don't know right now. So we did close below it, the suspension block, so it returns to its premium characteristic. So now let's see if it can offer any resistance here. And yeah, I'm not too chubby, I'm not in a rush as price is just consolidating here. But again, my personal attention goes more to those clean bodies here than those highs here at this moment, okay? So consecutive encroachment of the suspension block being booked. Why shorting in here wouldn't be as probable, because very close to the left we have relative equal highs and this high is lower than this high, so that's always a candidate for a potential run on liquidity still, which, yeah, regardless of the direction of this, it's possible that this will be taken out. So it either proves like very clearly that it doesn't want to do it, or that's a possibility. So we traded all the way to the high of the suspension block, but price closed below it. So generally, if there were no relative equal highs like this, I would be prompt to go short here. All right, but because PPI soon, because we do have those relative equal highs, I'm not gonna do it. So yeah, heading towards the 750 to 810 macro. We'll see what we get there. And yeah. Right, looks like we might see an attempt to take out those relative equal highs here. And I would be glad to see that, to be honest, because those highs are looking way too smooth at this moment, way too smooth. They shouldn't stay like this. Okay, first time price closed inside of the CB since it's traded to it. Not taken out the buy side yet, so I'm still looking if we can take it out. A stop rate on those smooth highs is warranted, really, right here. And then we'll see what we got afterwards. Okay, rejection here, back to the suspension block that now could work as inversion, so could work as support to run up into the buy side, relative equal highs, and there we go, we got it. We poked above the CB with the wick, and let's see now where the body will close, because again, if we close above it, then I defer the idea about those relative equal lows, and this might be more likely. But if it's taking out those highs and then rejecting and staying heavy, then that's where I'm looking. Right, so far we've taken the buy side here, and we closed all the way below the CB, so that's pretty weak signature here. Pretty weak. We have now consecutive encroachment of this premium week, which basically lays at the consecutive encroachment of the CB. So I'm watching if price can gravitate towards that. And yeah, not gonna lie, I would like to have an horse here, and just to see if my idea could be valid in here. So I like a lot this rejection here above those relative equal highs, and if I'm correct on my assumption that this was a stop rate and the bodies are telling the story that this is weak because it's in the lower half of the CB, it could turn around here, right? But yeah, let's see. Any close above it, I'm most likely wrong, and I'll be closing it out. Right, it touched the consecutive encroachment here. Rejection would be welcome. Also the time 7:50, so we are during the macro here. No close above the consecutive encroachment is great to see, and yeah, it should start like moving away quickly. I give it, I don't know, 2 minutes, 3 minutes to do that. If it doesn't, I might be cutting the bait. Not gonna lie, this is quite an aggressive idea, and that's something to keep in mind. Yet I can afford the risk, so I'll be fine. Alright, so now this candle needs to be lower, because we did close slightly above the 50%. The next one opened below. This is both consecutive encroachment of the CB and this premium week. We had a stop right already above those relative equal highs. just take that, just send it lower here. Let's see, I'm watching this candle to close below the SIBI. That's what I'm looking for. And the idea is to trap anyone who was trying to get long above those highs here as a breakout, and aiming for those highs here. So that's good. That's what I wanted to see. Close below the SIBI. Perfect. Now remember this suspension block, it has to give way. So no support here, no discount sensitivity, just give way, trade below it. That will be the next constructive way to view this position. I believe all I have is this macro, because then we are getting too close to the PPI, and then I don't want to be in. So this is like time sensitive trade. Relative equal lows here, the sooner they are taken out, the better. And yeah, then I'll be probably trimming out the risk if we can take those out. Alright, I don't like to I don't like how it spends time at this consecutive encroachment here. It should be closing below it rather easily. It didn't. So yeah, it's trading to a small little fair value gap here. It should be rejected quickly, but yeah, it's very time sensitive here. So there is no time to waste. Okay, that's good. Trading below it. Hopefully we see it like dive on a closing basis, attacking those lows, and start showing like larger ranges. All right. All right. So that was quick then. Apparently the consecutive encroachment here on the suspension block, yeah, it was problematic, but as it was dropping here, I was like, yeah, it's good, it should close, but then they took it out in 1 second. All right, so I guess this was a good example on why you don't trade ahead of PPI. And yeah, I fucked around and I find out. Fair enough, fair enough. All right. So they cleared out the buy set here, completed the larger buy model, and we'll be heading into the PPI soon. PPI leaked. Yeah, I mean they like to play dirty ahead of those type of reports. I know it, but I don't know. I like the idea overall. It made sense. That's why I put a horse into the race. Got stopped out, and yeah, that's it. Next, next, please. So now let's see if this, because we went above it, close above it. So this is now inversion for value gap. Let's see if it can offer any discount sensitivity. That certainly was a run on stops here because it was so quick and sudden. They just smashed right on through it, and I wouldn't be surprised if they made like a higher high here, because then that would be like a great trap in my opinion, for long chasers, and then maybe they could like take it. So let's see. I'll take some of those annotations off. This I will leave. I will make a mark of this sell side here. Too clean, very clean. Buy side was engaged. Also, that was the high of the day so far. Yep. There is this larger daily draw up here around 50 handles, but to be honest, I wouldn't like to go up there just like this. Clearing some sell side would be an advantage, I guess. Let's see. Alright, so because this was completed here, this whole market maker buy model, I'm really I don't know what they want to do from now. I gotta wait and see. If it so happens that we keep like making higher highs, that in my opinion ahead of PPI is very suspect, but nonetheless let's see. So generally I would expect a consolidation now ahead of the news, because that's usually what we see after a market maker model is being complete. some measure of consolidation. I will annotate this premium week. So yeah, that might be interesting though still, because as I said, they left a lot of clean sell side liquidity below the price, and the buy side was or is being continuously being engaged and attacked, which, yeah, let's see. If you can make a higher high here, I would suspect that it could have ended up as a turtle soup type of idea. But just for study, I'm not taking any more trades ahead of PPI. Okay, I'm not. I was looking around and yeah. Let's take a look on the 15-minute. Hourly, daily. So those are the relative equal highs here on the daily that it can still want to poke up into, or it might be a factor for the PPI. Let's see, but so far ahead of the news, 23 minutes, I really expect the price to just stay inside of this range here and consolidate. I really don't expect price to trade outside of this high and low. And the sell side here is really nice at this time, at this point. So that's kind of what I would prefer to see being run out. That's a good question though, but I don't have an easy answer for it. I mean, yes, for a healthy run higher, we would like to see some measure of retracement, yes, because this type of like vertical runs up, they are not sustainable in long term. But I mean, I don't know what they want to do with it long term, right? They might want to just take it up higher quickly to dump it later on a heels of some war news, or I don't know. So I'm really not trying to get too much ahead of the curve at the moment. But yeah, retracement would be reasonable at this point, or at some point in the near future. But we'll see. Nonetheless, on the upside, if it really wants to keep on pushing higher, and if it does, then I'm not interested. But nonetheless, the 25,728 and a quarter, that's relative equal highs daily buy side liquidity pool. So that's a potential draw on the upside. And let's see if that's the case, if that would be the case, the premium week that we are trading into right now, if we trade above it, the upper half would need to support price and act as a discount sensitivity around here. Okay, so that's what I would expect. Will we see that? I don't know. So that's something to watch. But nonetheless, it's in the realm of possibilities. So far we poked above the consecutive encroachment, but the bodies were not able to close above it. So also you have this like super clean trend line phantom here on 15-second, like this. That's being attacked now. Very reasonable. Attack that. There we go. And yeah, so far it's staying inside of the range, as I mentioned that it's likely to do so. And basically we are counting out and waiting for the PPI to hit the marketplace, and then we probably see some displacement again. Alright, nice rejection off of the consecutive encroachment of this premium week. Minor sell side is obviously resting here at this inversion fair value gap. So let's see if near term we could poke that. We do have relative equal highs formed most recently here, so that's a little bit of suspect, but nonetheless, as long as we are staying inside of this range here, it's kinda 50-50. It could go higher, I can't argue that it could go higher, but it could also clear some sell side out too. So both scenarios are or could be argued at this point, which makes it like low probability at the moment, which makes it 50-50 type of idea. And that's not what I want to engage with. Nonetheless, I just don't know. I just don't know what it will do right now. Alright, so based on 15-second, this low looks prominent to be taken out, but again, we kind of might be stuck inside of this range in here, ahead of PPI, and then after the news is released, we'll see where they will take it. And I'm not gonna make a heavy bet where they will take it, because both sides can be reasonably argued, and the main idea is probably, I'm not saying that this will be the case, but probably that's something that I'm looking for, that whatever direction they will take it out first, all right, don't chase that, and look if it will fizzle out at some point and go the other direction. That's something that I would like possibly look for. So yeah, I'm expecting some sort of like two-stage FOMC type of delivery, where the first type of first move is being like fake, and then the second run is the actual real move that then continues a little bit longer or offers like a better opportunity. So let's see, 13 minutes. Any questions in the chat? Anyone wants to chit chat, small talk? Now it's time for it, because we're waiting for the news. Who wants to be a chat comedian? Any jokes? Someone? We'll see. But yeah. Trading to this 811 CB right here, relative equal lows being placed, relative equal highs being placed, and we are in consolidation pretty much. And this is the essence of the 50-50 type of scenario. This is the essence of it, because it could literally go either way. It could clear those lows out, it could clear those highs out, and both scenarios can be argued reasonably well, which makes it low probability. The definition of low probability, that's what we see right now. Damn, gotta wait. Let's see if someone joined the Telegram channel. Let's see. Oh, looks like no one did. Shame on you guys. Shame on you. That's a secret society trading channel. Damn it. All right. So premium sensitivity at the low of the week, and it gravitates toward the relative equal lows. So that's interesting. Still 9 minutes ahead of PPI, so nothing in here that I see as a trade at this moment. It's too close to the news event, and just gotta wait. Just gotta wait, because they are going to play this out somehow. They want to trap as many people offside with it, and yeah, let's see. So yeah, we might use let's clear this out. Let's watch the 5-minute chart. Hello, chat winbirds. Do I teach? Yeah, probably I do. I don't know how I do, but I do. You can look up some tricks from me here and there for sure. But yeah, ahead of the PPI, price traded higher basically since yesterday obviously, but today we consolidated through Asia, formed those very nice smooth relative equal lows here, this and this. I like that. Then we had the sell side here, which is in form of a more of a trend line phantom sell side, and we've taken buy side multiple times above this high, this high, this high, and now we are here ahead of the PPI. So not gonna lie, my attention would be lower initially for sure. That's what I would be looking for initially. Let's go back to the 1 minute. 5 minute ahead of PPI, and we are poking out below those lows here. So sell side liquidity has been taken out first inside of this consolidation. Now I want to watch and see whether it offers any valid continuation here, or do we reverse back inside of the range. Okay, so taking the fact into consideration that we left like a nice portion open here and here. Is quite interesting, but I wouldn't like to get shorts ahead of PPI with this type of movement. I would say the buy side here is uber suspect to be taken out first in this scenario. But yeah, great point, Anastalani. Great point. So yeah, the sell side here was kind of like taken, trapped people into a breakout shorts to expect continuation lower at the after the PPI, right? And now what I would do, or how I would do it, I would just take it all the way up and take out the buy side here. That's what I would do. And then if they are greedy, they will take it up above this daily highs, and then maybe we might see it you know, melt potentially. So let's see, because they might be playing dirty here. They might be. They might be doing a dirty dog type of play. So yeah, the buy side here is no-brainer at this moment, and we are still like 2.5 minutes ahead of the PPI actual, but we are already seeing some larger candles, larger volatility, which usually is somewhat like enticing, right? So anyone who is going to trade the PPI today might be tricked by the price action here ahead of it. So let's see, because yeah, I think they will take it lower. I think they might take it lower, especially if we take the buy side here ahead of it. But the wild card is the buy side here, because yeah, they could take it even up into there, right? Because it's in close proximity, like 30 handles. It's not a lot of range, so that has to be considered. Let's see. All right, 1 minute to the PPI. By the way, Mr. Chad Winbritz, you're asking for an advice, and I guess I'm generous enough to help you, obviously for free, because I don't sell anything. But write me on DMs on X or Telegram, so I can like take a look on where you are at, okay? Because right now I'm kind of busy. 30 seconds until the PPI. Let's see. Alright, so we got the buy side here. I'm watching if they will stop higher for the daily buy side. Alright. I'm looking for that. This is the low prior the PPI. So that's where sell side will be also resting and smooth with those lows. Let's see. We did cleared out the buy side here, and it kinda looks like a potential turtle soup that might send it all the way lower. Not gonna lie. But I don't know for sure. So that's why I'm not trading, because it's not like as one-sided as I would like, because of this level here. Daily relative equal highs. But other than that, it makes a lot of sense. Nonetheless, I'm not in a rush, and I'm not like eager to trade right at the PPI, right? That's not what we do. The rules call to wait at least 15 minutes, right? So 15 minutes is like the standard protocol, and then after that we can start thinking to like really look for some ideas, entries or whatever. But before that, it's still like open for wild manipulation, right? And lack of precision. So yeah, we'll see. Let's take a look on the 5-minute chart, how it's presenting itself. Let's hide the annotations. This is how it looks like. So it poked higher, those highs, now rejecting and trying to impose that it's going to go lower. But if that's the case, I think they need to do it quickly, right? If they are taking this lower here, no time to waste, because they don't want people to participate in that, right? And yeah, now they are like giving a lot of time to anyone who wants to get short, can get reasonably close to the high. So this high, let me annotate it, because that's the PPI high. So that's important by itself. All right, so they really they're playing some dirty here, because we should be already taking out this low. If it was going to go lower here, I believe truly that it should have been already be taking this low quickly on news like PPI. But all right, so that this is kind of like an early sign of them potentially playing it dirty. And by dirty, I mean like really trying to get everyone hurt, okay? So right now, anyone who went short on PPI, initial down move, is easily being hurt above this high, which is close to this high, and that's kinda where they might take it. But this is not tradable in my opinion. by any means, because you can't frame a very low risk type of entry, right? Because where would you put your stop loss? Below this low, which is super close to this relative equal lows? Not the best idea. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they just took it higher to take out this high. Let's see. They could also like do it in a way where they take out this low or those relative equal lows here, right? So anyone who is long right now is probably having some measure of stop loss below this low or these lows. So they could like snap them out and then quickly run higher, and then they will run the buy side here for sure, in my opinion. But yeah, let's see. If that's the case, then this SIBI will act as bullish inversion for value gap. But again, I would like that idea more if they take out the sell side here first. Okay, then it actually might be somewhat tradable potentially, but let's see. Yeah, really playing it dirty so far. Not much movement at all as it is yet. It still can unfold. Like give it those 15 more minutes after the news, so the dust can settle a little bit and we can see who is getting hurt or who is being hurt next. Right now it's kind of open. They are kind of trapping both sides, in my opinion, at this moment. I bet there are people who are going long here, and I bet there are people who are selling short and taking it below this low with a sudden large candle lower and then stopping and taking it slowly higher would be one way of messing with the public here. Let's see. I don't know right now. I really don't know. I do think this is suspect. I do think that they should have already taken this low out. For some reason they don't, so they might want to take it some higher first. But again, that's not high probability. That's not high probability at all. So yeah, what kind of made it this situation here was the fact that just ahead of the PPI, 5 minutes ahead, they kind of like steer the pot by taking out the sell side and the buy side, and then we are still kind of like in the middle of the range. So it could go either way, really. In my opinion, it could go either way. So yeah, if they wanted to go lower, they could have done it here already. They didn't. Now trading higher into this fair value gap. So let's see if it closes above it or not. The buy side for PPI is right there. So that's an easy pick on, and that's in close proximity to a higher daily liquidity pool. So far price wicked above this fair value gap, but the body stays in the lower half. If it's bullish, it needs to overtake this wick here and close above it. I wouldn't touch it at the moment. Personally, I wouldn't touch it. To be honest, that's a very, very wonky PPI though. I remember days where PPI was just smashing the range like up and down and like doing crazy displacement and stuff like that. And today we just got like this wing. Like, what is this? This is not what we were looking for. Pretty weak PPI so far. But yeah, taking that into consideration, what they do right now, what they did prior, I would prefer to attack some sell-side liquidity as potential draw. And all of the pools that I have noted here on the chart are solid candidates for draw on liquidity lower, but it needs to work its kinks first. So one way how it could also unfold would be taking out this PPI high with a nice strong bullish candle, and then reject that. That would be a sign that they sold the final portion and they will seek for sell side. And then, but yeah, so far price is having issues to get through this fair value gap, moving away from it. If that's the case, this low should be attacked. But again, it's just consolidating still. It's just going sideways, so it needs to do something first. It needs to put someone offside. It needs movement really to give a better or cleaner read / idea about it, because right now it's just not making it. Again, touching to the low of this bearish fair value gap. If it's good, it should be already like rejecting this hard but yeah, it's clearly not as good. Even if this fair value gap, this bearish fair value gap here would deliver the sell side, I wouldn't take it anyway. I just wouldn't. All right, nice reaction off of the low, but this should continue into the sell side. No need for return into the fair value gap at this moment. If it's good, it should not retrace back into the fair value gap. It should just leave it as it is and now seek the sell side liquidity below that low that I noted, and right to the left there are those relative equal lows, sell side liquidity. So that's a pool of liquidity to no brainer. It should just smash right on through it and get there, and that would be a signature if it did it, that I like, but I don't know if it will do it, because it could very well get back into this fair value gap, taking into consideration the price action that we've seen so far. But yeah, sentiment is building up. People are impatient right now. Anyone who entered long or short hoping that the PPI will do it for them is now being stuck with this with the position inside of this consolidation. So both sides are stuck, and now we want to see how they will unseat one side to run the other side. So they need to do some damage first, some manipulation. It was not there yet. Also heading into the 850 to 910 macro, first macro after PPI. That's where I would expect that the price will start doing something, but yeah, so far we are just stuck inside of the range. Which also basically was established like 1 hour ago. So yeah. But good, fine. I mean, this is something that sharpens the skills. That's like a leg day today. No one likes to do it, but you gotta do it. And the price just took us through it, at least during the pre-market. And if it stays inside this consolidation like this, which I honestly assume that this macro here will take us out of it, but if it stays inside of it, I believe the 930 will finish the job, and then we'll see the move. But let's see. We touched to the low of this fair value gap again, and again we are reacting lower. So really, if it's good, it should have already attacked the sell side here multiple times. Because it didn't do that, I'm like very cautious about this price action. All right, so now I'm watching another attempt, potential attempt, if it can run out the sell side here. It would make sense for it to do so, but again, that's not like super one-sided and high probable. If it delivers that, great, cool, but it's hard to trust into this. They can still step in and clear the board a little bit more, but let's see. Gravitating towards the sell side. This is really like, if this doesn't take this out, I'm like, that's a huge warning sign. But yeah, let's see. It should smash right on through it next candle. There's really no reason not to take this sell side out after we've taken the relative equal highs here like this, and after price moved off of this bearish fair value gap. Literally no reason not to take this out, unless they will want to drag it higher. So that's kind of like what we have. But we opened, we tried to rebalance here, failed to offer immediate rebalance. Small fair value gap was left, closed near the low. It should smash through the sell side here, and then we'll see, then we'll judge whether it can offer any continuation or not. Okay, so it looks like they are playing some games, some funny games. Yeah, very funny, Nasdaq, very funny. Now trades into this small little fair value gap here, and that would be like the last chance for it to actually deliver lower. So touch this and now run the sell side. If it fails here, then this short-term high and potential this PPI high might be challenged quickly. Very dirty. Very, very, very dirty. I still favor the sell side nonetheless. I do favor the sell side. I believe it's too clean to not take it out. But the way they are delivering, it's pretty annoying in terms of like high probability, low risk type of idea, right? We're not seeing that. Price is still hanging inside this range. Refused to take out the sell side here low, even though it was pretty much loaded to do it. It didn't. And now we are trading some higher. So I don't know. It could take this high out. It could go lower. I don't know. I would side with lower, but it's suspect. Nonetheless, pre-PPI session today was reasonable. I would say it was manageable to some degree. I personally made mistake trading ahead of PPI, being a little bit too fast forward, I guess, but nonetheless, yeah, then there was really nothing to do in here. So nonetheless, I will be there tomorrow. I'm not touching this. I would wait for 9:30 probably, at least. And yeah, I will be there same time tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Have a pleasant day and be careful because they are playing dirty today. Nonetheless, see you. Bye bye. I'll be doing the review later, so you will get that. Ay ay ay. Maybe tomorrow.